Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
Hello. Okay, after completing the learning of price elasticity of demand, so now let's follow the same format to learn how the format can be used to be applied on YED, XED, and also PES. Okay, as what you can see on your screen now, so I have the definitions for price elasticity of demand and formula of PED that we have learned in the previous video. So let's look at how we can change the definition and formula a little bit to fit into YED and XED and also PES. Okay. Now, if you look at like YED, the change is here, income. Therefore, in terms of the definition, it is basically the same. Measure the responsiveness of consumers, okay, demand to changes in income. So you're just changing the variable. Likewise, in terms of formula, it is consumer demand, but then to changes in income this time round instead of price. Okay. Likewise, in terms of XED, so it is used to measure of the responsiveness of consumers' demand. Okay, this time around is a bit special for a good to changes in the price of other goods. Okay, because cross is relating to different products. So therefore, the formula is basically the same, but then QD for X over changes in the price of Y, two different goods, okay? And now for PES, the changes is at the back, okay? But the variable is still price. So it measures the responsiveness of from consumer, we change it to producer, and then to changes in price. So this will be the major changes. Okay, all right. And for formula, the top part is still Q, but this time around is quantity supplied. And then the bottom part is price. Okay, that's how it works. And moving on, in the learning of elasticity concept, after we know like definitions and formula, we need to look at the sign. As mentioned, the sign is basically showing you the relationship between the two variables. So if it is PED, the relationship between price and QD. Likewise, for YED, it's showing you the relationship between income and quantity demanded. So this time around, we will break it down. We do it one by one. Now, previously, as a recap, we know that price and QD are inversely related, which means PED is always negative. Why? Because when price rises, QD always fall. Likewise, when price fall, QD always rise. So this is what we call negatively or inversely related. Therefore, PED is always negative, as mentioned in the video before. Okay. But then this time round, when it comes to income elasticity of demand, it can be positive, it can be negative. So let's look at this. Positive YED. Positive YED means income and demand are positively related, which means when income rises, demand for the product will rise as well. Then you need to think, what are the products that come with positive relationship with income? When your income rises, you are going to buy more. So this is basically normal goods. Okay, continue. And we have negative YED, which means income and demand are negatively related. So which means when your income rises, demand for this particular goods will fall. So when you have higher income, you can afford better quality stuff, then you will be demanding for less inferior goods. Likewise, when your income fall, you'll be buying more inferior goods because you can't afford better quality stuff. So that is the sign of YED. Okay, let me just roughly recap what I have mentioned just now. When we talk about the sign of YED, PED, or XED, or whatever, the sign is basically showing you the relationship between the two variables in the formula. So for sign of YED, it is basically showing you the relationship between income and quantity demanded. Therefore, when it is positive YED, it shows that income and demand are positively related. When income rises, you will buy more of this thing. So we call it the normal goods, so-called better quality goods, or so-called like branded goods or whatever, whereby negative YED shows that income and demand are negatively related. So when your income rises, you will be buying less of this thing. Likewise, when your income falls, you will be buying more of this thing. And we call it the inferior goods, like used cars, used clothes, used shoe. But then guys, used house is not considered inferior goods. Okay, second-hand house will cost more than first-hand as time passes. Okay, so be careful, yeah? And now let's move back to XED. Okay, XED, when come to the sign, again, it is showing you the relationship between these two products, as in price of Y and quantity demanded of X, which means they are showing you these two products were either like they are having positive or negative relationship. So now, when it is positive XED, meaning to say price of Y and demand of X are positively related. Then you write down what I write. Okay, when price of Y rises, demand for X will rise. Then from here, you need to judge whether these two products are having a substitute relationship or complement relationship. They are the complement to each other or substitute. Then you start to like get two pairs of product and slot it in. For example, when price of petrol rises, demand for cars rises. And you ask yourself whether this makes sense or not. When price of petrol rises, people will choose not to buy so much petrol. In that case, people will choose not to buy so much cars, right? So doesn't make sense. However, if I say when price of Coke rises, demand for Pepsi rises, or when price of Honda rises, demand for Toyota rises. So it makes sense because when price of Honda rises, people will choose not to buy Honda and switch over to Toyota. Okay, so positive XED showing you that two goods are basically substitutes. okay, whereby negative XED, which mean price Y and demand for X are negatively related. So when price of Y rises, demand for X will fall. So this is complementary. Or two goods are jointly demanded. Two goods are used together. So now when you apply the context of cars and petrol here, then it makes sense. When price of cars rises, people will choose to buy less cars. Then less people driving cars, demand for petrol will fall. So this is how it works. And guys, for XED, we still have one sign, which XED equals to 0. When XED equals to 0, which means when price of Y changes, demand for X will not be affected or will remain unchanged. Then it shows that two goods are basically not related. So for example, when price of KFC rises, demand for cars will not change, because KFC and cars, basically, they don't really have any direct relationship. Okay, all right, that's the case for XED. Now, moving on, if you look into PES, okay, which means if we follow the same standard, it shows the relationship between price and quantity supplied. And previously, we already learned, when we learn supply, price and quantity supplied are positively related always. Okay, as price rises, firms are willing to supply more due to higher profitability. As price fall, firms are now willing to supply less due to lower profitability. Therefore, PES is always positive. Okay, no matter how, the sign of PES is always positive. It's just that simple. This is the case.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with one or two past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.